Starting off at our number 10 spot, we have "You're such a baby." In the cross-examination of Amber Heard, the famous tape where Amber admits to hitting Johnny and calling him a baby is played. There is a good minute or more that is played that gives you context as to what was happening at the time. Prior to hearing the recording, Amber testifies to the court that she only hit Johnny out of defense and that she never hit him otherwise. But in this recording, it shows that actually isn't true. Johnny's lawyers proceed to say to Amber, "You said you hit Mr. Depp." To which Amber replied, "Yeah, I had to hit his body to get him out from the door." To which Johnny's lawyer replied, "Miss Heard, my question was, you said on that recording that you hit Mr. Depp, right?" To which Amber replied, "Yes, I did." To which Johnny's lawyer set the trap and replied, "And you accused him of being a baby for not wanting to start a physical fight with you." To which Amber replied, "I accused him of being a baby for complaining about me hitting him. He was trying to get through the door and I was trying to barricade." Sheesh. She walked right into that one. She finally admitted to it and showed a very key piece of evidence. If you were being hurt by this man, would you be calling him a baby for you just hitting him? And also, would he even be complaining about you hitting him so passively, if I may add, if he is the aggressor that you portray him as? This moment revealed a lot about both of their characters. In our number 9 spot, we have Tasia Van Ree. There was a final moment when Johnny's lawyers question Amber about her previous relationship with Tasia Van Ree. They reveal an article that states that Amber Heard allegedly struck her ex-girlfriend Tasia Van Ree at the airport in 2009. There were witnesses at the airport, including the cops, that allegedly saw it, which led to the alleged arrest. Johnny's lawyer asked one final question of, "Mr. Depp is not the only domestic partner that you have hurt, have you, Miss Heard?" Of course, Amber replied to never hurting any of her partners ever. But sadly, she once again lied to the court as there is evidence on the tape of her admitting to hitting Johnny. That was the last question Johnny's lawyer asked before finishing the cross-examination. Damn. Just damn. I hope someone patted Camille on the back for that finale because that was arguably one of the best endings I've seen in a while. In our number 8 spot today, we have "Tell the World, Johnny." In day 1 of the cross-examination, the very infamous tape where Amber says to Johnny, "See what the jury and judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, man, I am a victim too of DV." To which Johnny replied, "Yes." And then Amber went on to saying, "You know, it's a fair fight. See how many people believe you or side with you." Johnny Depp's lawyer then commenced to reiterate what was just said by Amber, with Amber confirming that it was indeed her voice. But Camille's slow but subtle emphasis on the power of the words and what was just said, it was the perfect delivery to drive home the point. You can please tell people that it was a fair fight and you can see what the jury and judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, a man, a victim too of DV. That's what you said, right? To which Amber replied, "I am saying it to the man who beat me up. Yes, I thought it was preposterous." To which Johnny Depp's lawyer replied, "And the man you beat up numerous times, right, Mrs. Heard?" Amber replied, "I could never hurt Johnny." The last comment totally discredited her because the jury has already heard her on numerous occasions on tapes apologize to Johnny and admit to hurting him. Coming up in our number 7 spot, we have "Fix It." At one point in the cross-examination, Johnny's lawyer is reading a few pages out of a journal of what Amber calls their love journal. Camille Vasquez, Johnny Depp's lawyer, reads quite a few entries where Amber is apologizing to Johnny. Amber insists that there's more love entries than apology notes. Camille proceeds to read another apology that shows that Amber is very remorseful over her behavior. Amber proceeds to tell the court and jury that she was always trying to fix it, referring to her always trying to fix the problems they had. To which Johnny Depp's lawyer replies, "Fix it by apologizing for your bad behavior?" Yikes! Savagery. Coming up in our number 6 spot, we have "Spilled Wine." After the court listened to the audio tape of Amber and Johnny talking about Amber screaming at Johnny for spilling wine on her. At the beginning of this point, the court listened to the audio tape of Amber and Johnny talking about Amber screaming at Johnny for spilling wine on her. In this recording, Amber is very apologetic. After this recording was played, there was an air of, where is Johnny's team going with this? But then we quickly realized that this this recording was done a week or two after Amber said that Johnny allegedly hurt her. The scene went as follows. Johnny Depp's lawyer Camille Vasquez says, "Mr. Depp says you screamed at him when he accidentally spilled wine on you." To which Amber replied, "I realize that's what Johnny said." To which Johnny's lawyer replied, "And Mr. Depp tells you that this freaked out his son Jack." Then Amber said, "Johnny often used other people to back him up in our arguments." To which Johnny's lawyer replied, "You don't seem too concerned about that, do you?" To which Amber replied, "I had a lot of concerns." To which Johnny's lawyer replied, "You don't mention Mr. Depp sexually injuring you in this recording, do you?" To which Amber went on to say that that was not the point of that conversation. But whether that was the point of the conversation or not, if you were sexually injured by someone, do you think you might be justified to scream if wine was spilt on you? Do you think you might be a little less apologetic for such a small incident? Would love to know your thoughts in the comment section below. Coming up in our number 5 spot, we have mirror photos. Throughout the cross-examination, we hear quite a lot about a particular incident in Australia in March 2015, when Johnny Depp's finger was severed. From what we can gather about the incident is that Amber and Johnny had a big fight, which then led Amber to allegedly throw a bottle at Johnny and sever his finger. This led Johnny to seemingly become hysterical, to then dip his finger in paint and start writing on the walls of the place they were staying in, as well as the mirrors. According to Amber's testimony, she was also physically hurt by Johnny that night and sexually injured by way of a bottle. As Johnny Depp's lawyers are questioning Amber, they show Amber a picture that she took of the writing on the mirror that night. They then point out the fact that Amber can't be seen in the mirror. Interesting. But then also, why aren't there pictures of her supposed injuries from that night? But there is a picture of writing on the mirror, in which she clearly is standing out of frame. Very sus, Amber. In our number 4 spot today, we have motion denied. After Johnny had made his case and all of the witnesses he brought had spoken, Amber Heard's team went to argue to strike the whole case and trial based off of lack of substantial evidence. Johnny Depp's lawyers took to the stand to argue that not only does he have substantial evidence, but he also has proven that Miss Heard has injured Johnny. He went on to say that regardless of the creativity used in Miss Heard's Washington op-ed, that everyone in the world knew that it was referring to Johnny, and it therefore has caused him to experience some defamation. The monologue was completely compelling and clearly showed that there is a case here, and so the judge denied the motion to strike the case. In our number 3 spot, we have The Gift. Ooh, this one was such a moment. At this point in the cross-examination, you see Camille, Johnny's lawyer, begin to warm up Amber by asking her a series of questions to confirm her claims of being hurt by Johnny. She specifically highlights that these claims took place in 2012, and Miss Heard agrees. But then she asks Amber about a gift that she gave Johnny in 2012, a knife. It was during these cycles of violence in 2012 that you gave Mr. Depp a knife as a gift? Johnny Depp's lawyers asked, to which Amber tried to play it off as if she couldn't remember when she gave it to him. But it was too late because the point was already driven home. She gave a knife to someone who supposedly hurts her. That doesn't sound right. This is the same knife that you gave to the man who would get drunk and violent with you, right? That's what Camille Vasquez finished on, and man, was it good. Coming up in our number 2 spot, we have The Pledge. Arguably, this moment may tie for first because this one and the first place spot was so hard to choose between. This is the moment when we discovered that in Amber's mind, to pledge to do something means to have already done it. To give you context, Johnny Depp's lawyers were trying to point out that Amber said she was going to give all of her divorce money to charity, but she didn't. Amber says that she pledges to, but then we are shown a clip where Amber is seen saying that she has donated the money. Past tense. Oh lordy, this was a fun moment. Johnny's lawyer said, "Sitting here today, you have not donated the $7 million. Donated, not pledged, donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity." To which Amber replied, "I use pledge and donation synonymous with one another." Johnny's lawyers quickly jumped in to say, "But I don't." Amber begins to make the case that she will donate it, but she hasn't been able to due to being sued. But then of course, Johnny's lawyer then goes on to point out that she received all of her divorce settlement 13 months prior to being sued. Coming up in our number 1 spot, we have TMZ. In the original deposition done with Amber back in August of 2016, Amber was being questioned by Johnny's lawyers, whom are asking her if she sent a text message to Johnny's head of security, jury judge, saying that she is desperately trying to reach Johnny. When explaining the text message, Amber unfortunately has a bit of a slip up when she says, "I remember sending this because I wanted to tell Johnny or have him told by Jerry or someone who knew him or was close to him. Basically, I didn't want him to find out online that I had or was about to file for divorce. I wanted him to know verbally, so I was trying to reach him through a third party to tell him." When I say reach, I'm specifically saying I would like him to know information coming from me or coming from Jerry from me, so that he finds out about the divorce filing or my intention to do so from some other source other than TMZ, which was alerted. This clip was played in court only for Johnny's lawyer to say, "Slipped up there, didn't you, Miss Heard?" Drops mic. She then went on to share that also TMZ owns the copyright for the video of Johnny slamming the cupboards. So who else sold the video but Amber, who took the video?
Number 10. Penelope Cruz. Penelope Cruz, the woman known best for her roles in movies like Vanilla Sky and tons of Spanish-speaking films. She was also Johnny Depp's co-worker in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. She played Angelica, the daughter of Blackbeard, and she is super outspoken about her support for Johnny Depp. In their statement about the issue, she said, quote, "I've always been impressed by his kindness, his brilliant mind, his talent, and his peculiar sense of humor. I've seen Johnny in so many situations and he is always kind to everyone around. He's one of the most generous people I know. During 6 months of my first pregnancy, I spent every single day with him while we shot Pirates of the Caribbean. My husband and I will never forget the sweetness, protection, and kindness he treated me with during every single step of that process. We love him very much, and I feel lucky to have someone so special in our lives." She hasn't fully gone against Amber Heard, but I think it's pretty clear just where her loyalties lie in this matter. Number 9. Javier Bardem. Now on to Penelope Cruz's husband, Javier Bardem. He revealed back in March 2020 during one of the previous court cases that his allegiance lies stoutly with Johnny Depp. They had previously worked together on a movie called Before Night Falls, and again in Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales. In a statement, he said, quote, "I stand by Johnny because I have always seen and felt a true caring and loving man in him. He's an extraordinary and unique artist who has listened to anyone who needed help. I not only love Johnny, but respect him deeply and thank him for being the free and careless little boy he is in his art and the mature and loving man he is in the lives of others. He's always there when we need him. I love Johnny because he is a good human being, trapped in the lies and manipulations of toxic beings, and yet smiling and loving us all in spite of it. How? Through his music, through his acting, through his silence. This means a lot. Thank you, Johnny. Millions of others like me love you deeply." Coming in at number 8 is Winona Ryder. Winona Ryder dated Johnny Depp for 4 years from 1989 to 1993. Having known him for so long, she felt inclined to give a statement on the conflict. Quote, "I understand that it is very important that I speak from my own experience, as I obviously was not there during his marriage to Amber, but from my experience, which was so widely different, I was absolutely shocked, confused, and upset when I heard the accusations against him. The idea that he is an incredibly harmful person is the furthest thing from the Johnny I knew and loved. I cannot wrap my head around these accusations. He has never physically hurt anybody I have seen. I truly and honestly only know him as a really good man. He's an incredibly loving, extremely caring guy who was so very protective of me and the people that he loves, and I felt so very, very safe with him." While she also didn't come out against Amber Heard, she did explain her sense of disbelief at the idea of Johnny ever hurting anyone. Number 7 is Vanessa Paradis. Vanessa Paradis is Johnny Depp's ex-wife, who is also a famous French singer. The two have 2 children together and were together for 25 years. Although they divorced in 2012, she was quick to come to the defense of her ex-husband, who is a supportive co-parent. Quote, "I have known Johnny Depp for more than 25 years. We've been partners for 14 years, and we raised our 2 children together. Through all these years, I've known Johnny to be a kind, attentive, generous, and non-violent person and father. I am aware of the allegations which Amber Heard has publicly accused Johnny of for more than 4 years now. This is nothing like the true Johnny I have known, and from my personal experience of many years, I can say he was never harmful towards me." Her statement is eloquent and straight to the point, and for someone who also had a falling out with the man, she still holds such a high viewpoint of the actor. So what does that say? Next up is Kevin McNally, Johnny Depp's co-star who played Gibbs in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Although it's extremely unlikely that he will show up in court to testify for Johnny Depp, once rumors surfaced that Depp was to step down as Jack Sparrow, he stated stated, quote, "My dream is that some sort of link will be needed between what has been before and whatever bizarre incarnation of what there is to come. But I sincerely think that my fate is so tied in with Johnny's that I will go with him if indeed he does go," which is a really beautiful thing to say about someone. Next up on the list is David Yates. David is the director of the Fantastic Beasts series, a spin-off of Harry Potter that used to star Johnny Depp as one of the villains. Johnny was fired from his role after the allegations surfaced from Amber Heard when she wrote the article that she had been harmed by someone. Although not named, we all know who she was referring to. Anyways, he released a statement saying, quote, "Honestly, there's an issue at the moment where there's a lot of people being accused of things. They're being accused by multiple victims, and it's compelling and frightening. With Johnny, it seems to me there was one person who took a pop at him and claimed something. I can only tell you about the man I see every day. He's full of decency and kindness, and that's all I see. Whatever accusation was out there doesn't tally with the kind of human being I've been working with." Coming in at number 4 is J.K. Rowling. Okay, J.K. Rowling isn't really in anyone's good graces lately for various extremely valid reasons, but she did show a statement of support for Johnny Depp after he was initially hired for his role in the Fantastic Beasts franchise that she had written. Despite receiving a lot of backlash for the decision to hire him, the Harry Potter author stated, quote, "For me personally, the inability to speak openly to fans about this issue has been difficult, frustrating, and at times painful. However, the agreements that have been put in place to protect the privacy of two people, both of whom have expressed a desire to get on with their lives, must be respected. Based on our understanding of the circumstances, the filmmakers and I are not only comfortable sticking with our original casting, but genuinely happy to have Johnny playing a major character in the movies." Glad that worked out. Coming in at number 3 is Sia. Basically zero chance that she'll show up in court, but Sia is next on the list of celebrities who have been extremely outspoken in supporting Johnny Depp. In a tweet speaking about the matter, she stated, quote, "Just showing my public support for Johnny Depp. I mean, I'd love him to get clean and stop with the jewelry, but he is clearly the victim after hearing those tapes." Fair enough on the jewelry aspect, sometimes it's a bit tacky. Coming in at number 2 is Sharon Osbourne. Another famous celebrity who left a show of support for Johnny Depp is the wife of Ozzy Osbourne and British television personality Sharon Osbourne. During an appearance on a talk show aptly named The Talk, Sharon stated, quote, "It takes two to tango. I think that they had a very vulnerable relationship. I think they're both as bad as each other. She gave him as good as she got. It wasn't just like a little mouse in the corner being battered. I don't know what they were using. I have no idea who was doing what, but I know they were both drinking and it's a volatile relationship." Next on my list is an actor who is confirmed to be called to testify for his part in the aggressive texts that he and Johnny had exchanged about Amber Heard and the horrifying things they would do to her body. Paul Bettany co-starred with Johnny for the 2010 movie The Tourist. They also worked together on Transcendence and Mordecai. Having worked together on several films, the two quickly became super close friends. Initially, he tweeted, quote, "Known Johnny Depp for years and through several relationships. He's the sweetest, kindest, gentlest man that I've ever known. Just saying." Apparently, during the reading of the texts about Amber between the two actors, Paul felt ashamed of what he said and attempted to distance himself from the couple, which, like, man, if you're gonna say that stuff, at least own it fully. Don't shy away from it. Number 10, Sherilyn Fenn. Sherilyn Fenn is the actress who was at the height of her fame in the early to mid 90s. She most notably played Audrey Horne in Twin Peaks, and she dated Johnny Depp after they met on the set of a student film before he and her were even famous in 1985. They dated for 3.5 years, during which she made an appearance on a 1987 episode of Depp's television show 21 Jump Street. Although they broke up once their schedule started getting busier with newfound fame, Sherilyn has always maintained a positive stance about Johnny being her first true love. While the defamation trials have been going on for weeks now, Sherilyn made her opinion known on May 9th when she tweeted a throwback photo of her and Johnny in the 80s with the hashtag #IStandWithJohnny. She also retweeted someone who was happy that she was supporting Johnny and wrote, quote, "First loves." On Instagram in April, she also shared a throwback photo of the two with the caption, quote, "Sending love, light, and prayer to John. The courage, honesty, and transparency that he is showing with, he is already one to meet." Sherilyn is not shy about her support for Depp, despite having dated all those years ago, and despite having a loving husband. It's really sweet to see. Number 9, Lori Ann Allison. Before Sherilyn, Johnny Depp dated and married a woman named Lori Ann Allison. Although not a lot is known about their marriage, they met in 1983 after Nicolas Cage introduced the two with Lori Ann being his makeup artist. Although, because it was the 80s, some reports state that they met because she's the brother of one of the guitar players in Johnny's band at the time. I'm not really sure, to be honest. Either way, Depp was just 20 years old at the time, and the couple got married before divorcing 2 years later. Lori has stayed resolutely out of the limelight and maintains a normal life, although one article stated that she gave an interview recently coming out to support Johnny Depp. She claims that he is a soft-hearted person who would never have hurt her. Since they divorced back in 2015, Allison has also told an interviewee, quote, "Well, we all know he's a talented actor and can pull off the pirate thing like nobody's business, but he's also an extremely talented guitar player." So you know, if she speaks well of him all these years later, that they must have quite a bit of respect for one another. Number 8. Jennifer Grey. Jennifer Grey hit it big as the lead in the beloved romantic movie Dirty Dancing. She was one of the biggest stars in the 80s, and she and Johnny dated for a short time in the late 80s, and he even proposed to her, but the couple called off their wedding shortly after, and she never walked down the aisle. In her memoir released years later, Jennifer called her relationship with Johnny a bonfire. Quote, "He was funny and sweet and just so charming and quirky and weird and self-effacing and just so unique and gorgeous, and he was obsessed with me and romantic." In an interview with Extra Magazine though, when asked about her opinion on what's going on right now, Grey was sympathetic without giving her opinion. Quote, "I haven't known him for 30 years. I haven't talked to him. I haven't seen him. The whole thing makes me insanely sad for everybody involved. These are people who are damaged and continue to damage each other. It's sad. I don't have an opinion, except it breaks my heart. I just knew him in a very different time." Which, honestly, very fair. Number 7. Juliette Lewis. Although only dating for a short time, Juliette Lewis reportedly had a fling with Johnny Depp after they met on the set of their 1993 film What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Lewis ended her romance with a fellow heartthrob Brad Pitt to be with Johnny. Although the relationship didn't really excel past any official status, there was no hard feelings because they would publicly reunite at the 2016 Met Gala. The two were pictured smiling together and seemingly very happy to see one another after so long. Although her Instagram is more so being used for joking and sharing goofy reels, she did give an interview with the magazine where she briefly expressed sympathy with Johnny Depp. Quote, "I don't want to get too much into it, but honestly, I do feel for him. I hope he finds the outcome he is looking for." Although it's not much, it does show that Juliette seems very much in Johnny's court. Number 6. Winona Ryder. Johnny Depp first met Winona Ryder at the premiere of the 1989 film Great Balls of Fire, although they eventually co-starred together in the Tim Burton film Edward Scissorhands, where they would make it official and begin dating. They would date for quite a few years, and Johnny even proposed to her. Sadly, 4 years after they began dating, Winona and Johnny called it quits on their relationship. But more than a decade later, in a 2009 article with Elle UK, Ryder called the end of their relationship her quote, "first real breakup, the first heartbreak." Ever since they ended their relationship, Winona has looked back on the romance fondly, and during Johnny's libel case against The Sun in 2020, she even wrote a letter to London's High Court, stating, quote, "The idea that he is an incredibly violent person is the furthest thing from the Johnny I knew and loved. I cannot wrap my head around these accusations. He was never violent towards me. He has never been violent or harmful towards anybody I've seen. I truly and honestly only know him as a really good man, an incredibly loving, extremely caring guy who is so very protective of me and the people that he loves, and I felt so very safe with him. I do not want to call anyone a liar, but from my experience of Johnny, it is impossible to believe that such horrific allegations are true. I find it extremely upsetting knowing him as I do." Number 5. Penelope Cruz. Okay, so they didn't date, sorry, but I'm running out of high-profile relationships that Johnny Depp has been involved in, and I gotta do 10, or I'll be taken in the night in an unmarked van. Just kidding. Either way, I'd call this more of a bromance because Penelope Cruz and Johnny Depp did kind of technically date on screen in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. They were also co-stars in Blow and Murder on the Orient Express. She very stoutly declared her support for him on Instagram by stating, quote, "I met Johnny when I was 19 years old. He was in Madrid and introduced to me. The only sentences I knew how to say in English at the time were 'How are you?' and 'I want to work with Johnny Depp.' Many years have passed and I have not only made 3 movies with him, but I also count on him as a great friend. I've always been impressed by his kindness, his brilliant mind, his talent, and his peculiar sense of humor. I've seen Johnny in so many situations and he is always kind to everyone around. He is one of the most generous people I know." She then went on to absolutely deny that he would ever have harmed anyone and continued to speak highly of her former co-star. Number 4. Paul Bettany. Okay, Paul is the last on this list that didn't actually date Johnny Depp, but oh man, how juicy would it be if he did? I would sometimes call a bromance even stronger than some romances, and that is definitely the case with Paul and Johnny. The two have been super close since they met on the set of a movie they were both starring in. him. Paul even went up to bat for Johnny in court after it was exposed that they had texted about Amber Heard during the downfall of his marriage. Also, all the way back in 2016, when Johnny was still getting a divorce with Amber, he tweeted out, quote, "Known Johnny Depp for years and through several relationships. He's the sweetest, kindest, gentlest man that I've ever known. Just saying." Number 3, Kate Moss. Although her name has been mixed into the legal battle currently going on, Kate Moss and Johnny Depp were once an inseparable item back in the mid-90s after they met in a restaurant in New York City. The relationship wasn't without its drama though, when Depp was arrested after both he and Moss trashed their hotel room. When the police entered, they saw the couple sitting among the debris. It is worth noting though that Kate was completely unharmed. And now Amber has mentioned that she heard a rumor that Kate Moss was pushed down the stairs by Johnny. But that doesn't really make any sense because Kate has been nothing but supportive of Johnny long past their breakup. In 2012, Kate told Vanity Fair, quote, "There's nobody that's ever really been able to take care of me. Johnny did for a bit. Like if I said, 'What do I do?' he'd tell me, and that's what I missed when I left. I really lost the gauge of somebody I could trust. Nightmare. Years and years of crying. Oh, the tears." I don't know if I'd say that I spent years crying over a man who pushed me down a flight of stairs. Number 2, Ellen Barkin. Ellen Barkin briefly dated Johnny, also in the mid-90s, although the two only really got together temporarily and their relationship was short-lived. But she may very well say her piece in court, as Amber has accused Johnny of throwing a wine bottle at Barkin during their relationship. To be fair, Ellen herself did state that Depp has thrown the bottle at her and she's going to appear in court via video. But her lawyer says, quote, "Ellen's testimony will be critical to Heard. Miss Heard needs independent witnesses to corroborate her story. This means that despite admitting that Johnny did throw a bottle at her, Barkin may not take Amber's side when speaking about harm. She could have a whole new side to the story yet to be explained." Number 1, Vanessa Paradis. Although they never walked down the aisle, Vanessa was Johnny's longest love. They dated for 14 years and shared 2 children together. Vanessa is a French model, actress, and singer. When asked why he never asked her to marry him, Johnny stated, quote, "I never found myself needing that piece of paper. Marriage is really from soul to soul, heart to heart. You don't need somebody to say, okay, you're married. If Vanessa wanted to get hitched, why not? But the thing is, I'd be so scared of ruining her last name. She's got such a good last name." And when speaking about the defamation trial, Paradis remained very loyally on Johnny's side. She stated that she has always, quote, "known Johnny to be kind, attentive, generous, and a non-violent person and father." The two still co-parent their children together, and he cites them as the reason why he keeps pursuing legal action to clear his own name. Number 10, Vanessa Paradis. Vanessa Paradis was Johnny's partner of 14 years before they separated, and has resolutely supported her ex from day one. During the 2020 Sun libel case, Vanessa sent a statement to the judge in England, writing, quote, "I work as a musician, singer-songwriter, actress, and fashion model. I have known Johnny for more than 25 years. We've been partners for 14 years, and we raised our 2 children together. Through all these years, I've known Johnny to be a kind, attentive, generous, and non-violent person and father. On movie sets, the actors, directors, and entire crew adore him because he is humble and respectful to everyone, as well as being one of the best actors we've ever seen. I am aware of the allegations which Amber Heard has publicly accused Johnny of for more than 4 years now. This is nothing like the true Johnny I have known, and from my personal experience of many years, I can say he was never violent or harmful to me. I have seen that these outrageous statements have been really distressing and also caused damage to his career, because unfortunately people have gone on believing these false facts. This is so upsetting that he has helped so many people in his personal and professional life with kindness and generosity. Although they're no longer together, if she's willing to support her ex through a case against him, I can't imagine anything else that would come between them. Number 9, Candace Owens. Candace Owens is a right-wing political commentator who has spoken out strongly in support of Johnny Depp during his fight with Amber. She labeled Amber as, quote, "a liar from day one," and she has elaborated on her television show what her exact stance is during the trial. Quote, "It has been absolutely ridiculous to see what that woman was allowed to do because she flew under the radar of the Me Too movement." And honestly, she's kind of right. If the verdict of this trial proves that Johnny was wrongfully misrepresented by Amber, then it could be a case of Amber manipulating a movement meant to empower victims in favor of destroying this man's career. Candace also tweeted out in early April, quote, "I'm on record calling Amber Heard a liar from day one. Many people don't realize that a harmful sociopath was able to seamlessly destroy a man because of the Me Too campaign. Never believe women. Instead, listen to women and men, but believe facts." Number 8, Paul Bettany. Paul Bettany and Johnny Depp are extremely close friends. Johnny's lawyer even called him to the stand to help support Depp during the trials. If he's willing willing to go to court for someone, I doubt the outcome of the case will have much of a say in whether or not Paul's opinion of Johnny is swayed. He has previously shown his support for Depp on Twitter too, and shown his love for the actor in various interviews both before the trouble with Amber and after. Number 7. David Yates. Despite Johnny being kicked out of the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them franchise for the allegations made against him back in 2017, the director of that series has come out in support of Johnny Depp. Swaying against what was the public opinion at the time that Johnny had harmed Amber, David decided to show his support despite receiving tons of backlash for it. When they were considering ousting him before the final decision had been made, Yates voted to keep him because, quote, "I can only tell you about the man I see every day. He's full of decency and kindness, and that's all I see. Whatever accusation was out there doesn't tally with the kind of human being I've been working with." As an OG supporter of Depp's, I doubt the verdict of the court case will sway his opinion now. Number 6. Laurie Holden. Another original supporter of Johnny Depp's from way back in 2016 when the allegations first came out is Laurie Holden. She starred in The Walking Dead and received major backlash for her support of Johnny Depp back when the world was against him. And now, fast forward all the way to 2022, Laurie shared an article about her bashing her for supporting the Fantastic Beasts actor with the tweet, quote, "Glad I did support him. Would do it again in a heartbeat. Just happy that 6 years later the world is finally catching up. The truth is now being revealed and there will be justice." All the people who supported Johnny back before it was the popular opinion are definitely getting their comeuppance now. Number 5. Winona Ryder. Winona Ryder is also an ex of Johnny's. She was supposed to testify in his 2020 trial but was unable to attend. Although they only dated for a few years back in the 90s, their bond was extremely tight, and so she was called to defend Depp. Instead of being able to attend though, Winona wrote a statement to the court which reads, quote, "I am aware of the violence allegations that have been made publicly for the last few years by Johnny Depp's ex-wife Amber Heard. I knew Johnny very well years ago. We were together as a couple for 4 years, and I counted him as my best friend and as close to me as family. I count our relationship as one of the more significant relationships of my life. I understand that it is very important that I speak from my own experience, as I obviously was not there during his marriage to Amber. But from my experience, which was so wildly different, I was absolutely shocked, confused, and upset when I heard the accusations against him. The idea that he is an incredibly violent person is the furthest thing from the Johnny I knew and loved. I cannot wrap my head around these accusations. He was never violent towards me. He was never harmful at all towards me. He has never been violent or harmful towards anybody I have seen. I truly and honestly only know him as a really good man, an incredibly loving, extremely caring guy who is so very protective of me and the people that he loves, and I felt so very safe with him."
I do not want to call anyone a liar, but from my experience of Johnny, it is impossible to believe that such horrific allegations are true.
Number 4. Javier Bardem. Javier Bardem was Depp's co-star in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise before Johnny got booted from the film due to the accusations of Amber. Given his resolute statement of support, I doubt it will wave anytime soon. Quote, "I love Johnny. He has always been a true gentleman and an extremely generous and caring friend to my family and myself. On top of that, I've had the gift of working with him twice and have experienced his respectful attitude towards every single member of the crew alongside his unique and hilarious sense of humor. I stand by Johnny because I have always seen and felt a true caring and loving man in him. He is an extraordinary and unique artist who has listened to anyone who needed his help." Number 3. Penelope Cruz. Penelope Cruz, Javier's wife and co-star to Johnny Depp, also in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, has given similar shows of support for the defamed actor. She gave this declaration back in the 2020 libel trial in the UK. Quote, "I met Johnny when I was 19 years old. He was in Madrid and introduced to me. The only sentences I knew how to say in English at the time were, 'How are you?' and 'I want to work with Johnny Depp.' Many years have passed and I have not only made 3 movies with him, but I also count on him as a great friend. I've always been impressed by his kindness, his brilliant mind, his talent, and his peculiar sense of humor. I've seen Johnny in so many situations and he is always kind to everyone around. He's one of the most generous people I know. During 6 months of my first pregnancy, I spent every single day with him while we shot Pirates of the Caribbean. My husband and I will never forget the sweetness, protection, and kindness he treated me with during every single step of that process. We loved him very much and I feel very lucky to have someone so special in our lives." Number 2. Paul McCartney. Although he has not made an official public statement, Paul McCartney did pay tribute to the actor in the recent Seattle stop of his Get Back tour. He performed the song My Valentine, of which Depp stars in the music video. His image could be seen on a giant screen behind McCartney while he sang his song, which, if if you ask me, is just as large of a show of support as any statement could be. Number 1, Sia. Sia also gave her show of support, although the tweet has since been deleted. Kinda sus. Back in 2020, she wrote out on Twitter, quote, "Just showing my public support for Johnny Depp. I mean, I'd love him to get clean and stop with the jewelry, but he is clearly the victim after hearing those tapes." I wonder if she deleted it because she made fun of his aesthetic or for some other reason.